Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to be personalizing some really cute little night lights. They are so fun and easy to create. I did one for both of my girls and they were so fun to put together. So I just used some images that I found in Cricut Design Space and then of course cut them out with adhesive vinyl. Hopefully this one will focus as well so that you can see how cute that turned out. So I did a ballerina and then a unicorn using a combination of a lot of fun vinyl, and these turned out really fun. So I love using adhesive vinyl on just about everything. In fact, my husband and my family, all of them, practically say, "What can't she vinyl?" Because it's kind of like, what is she going to vinyl next? So I found these little blank night lights and I thought these would be super fun. Plus they're a real crowd pleaser with the little ones. So super easy to personalize. If you don't have little ones, you can personalize them for any room in your house. I think they're really cute in like a little powder room as well, so that would be fun too. But I'll show you how easy it is to do this, and it's a really great way to use all of those tiny little pieces of scrap vinyl. So I know you guys have lots of scrap vinyl. My scrap vinyl is all in this bin back here in a little filing system. If you need help learning how I do my filing system with all of my scrap HTV and scrap adhesive vinyl, then I'll place a video for that as well, because my storage system has really helped me to get everything organized when it comes to all my tiny scraps that get cut off of my bigger projects, and then in turn it creates fun stuff like this. So let's hop into the tutorial. I'll also have a whole list of all of the materials I'm using in the description box below the video. That way you can go ahead and check that out if you need to take a closer look at anything. All right, let's go ahead and get started and make these cute little night lights. Okay, so in Design Space, I found two images that I really want to use. So I have this really cute unicorn for one of my little girls, and I have the ballerina for one of my other little girls. So I am going to use these to create little decals to put on the front of these little night lights. So the first thing I need to do is come over to Shapes, and I'm just going to recreate the size of the little night light base that I have room to put vinyl on. And it is just about 3 inches by 3 inches. It's a little shy of that, but that will work. I'll go ahead and just make this white, and then I will send this all the way to the back so that I can drag the other two images onto it to size. So then what I'm going to do is bring my little ballerina over here, and I'm just going to size her for the night light. So that looks just about right. Super cute. And then I'll do the exact same for the unicorn. Now these images were both found in the images section of Design Space. I did change the colors of them just a little bit just to match the colors of vinyl that I would like to use, and just personalize them a little bit. But that looks good as well, so I am all set. Now I can go ahead and take this square and just remove it because I do not need the Cricut cutting out a square. And I'm all set to go. So now what I can do is I will actually use my Cricut Joy. You can use any cutting machine for this project, but this is a great project to not only use the Cricut Joy on, but to use your scrap pieces of vinyl. So grab all of the small pieces that you have left over, because this is a great project to use all those teeny tiny pieces. So now we will say make it, and then it will place all of our colors on mats according to the color. So it looks like we'll have 7 mats. I'm actually going to place all of my materials on an actual mat because I will be using some scrap material. So I will use that as my selection and say done. And then we'll get a better preview of all of those mats. So here they all are based on the color that we need to load, and then we will load those colors as we see on the screen. So the first will be white, then brown, then we'll have more of a beige, yellow, bright pink, light pink, and then the black. Okay, let's go ahead and say continue. And then on this screen, I can go ahead and make the material selection that I'm going to be using. So for most of them, I will use the premium vinyl setting. Some of them are glitter vinyl and a shimmer vinyl, so I will go ahead and browse all materials for those specific mats, and I'll be in the vinyl section, and then I can make those individual selections based on what I am putting into the machine. All right, so my first one will be premium vinyl. Again, I'll come back in and change if necessary, and then we'll go ahead and get cutting. Okay, so now I have some scrap pieces that I pulled from my scrap bin. I also have a couple full-size sheets just because these are colors I don't use often, so I don't have many scraps for them. So I'll use some of those as well and trim them down. The first mat it's calling for is a white. So I will go ahead and place that on my mat. You can also use the blue cutting mat as well. And I'm just going to use my green one because that one is nice and fresh. So I'll go ahead and load that into the machine and get this cut out. Okay, so that first one is done. I can unload my mat. And then what I'll do is I will just go through each of the colors as it tells me. Again, making any changes in the material selection as needed. This one is more of a shimmery vinyl, so I probably will go in and change that to a shimmer vinyl setting just to make sure it gets a really good cut. Okay, so I have all of my little pieces cut out, and while I weed them, I'm going to actually place a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a cotton swab and just clean the surfaces of my little night lights here. So I'm just going to make sure that's nice and clean so that the vinyl adheres really, really well to them. I bought this in a 4-pack, I believe, on Amazon. I will be sure to link it in the description box below so that you can find them easily if you'd like to do this too. This is a really, really fun little craft. And again, it uses lots of scrap pieces, so fun if you have lots of scraps to get rid of. So now I have a little bit of weeding ahead of me, which they're all fairly small, so they should go pretty quickly. So I actually use the premium vinyl setting on all of my materials except for this glittery vinyl. It's not technically a glitter vinyl. I think it is more of, I think I use the setting shimmer glitter or glimmer shimmer, something like that. And I purchased this at Hobby Lobby. It is their in-house brand, so Paper Studio. And I used this entire roll. I think this is the last little piece that I had. I love it. Oops, I pulled a little piece off. We've had a little love-hate relationship with each other at certain points because it is very picky on the cut setting that it needs in order for it to work. But if you get the right cut setting, it works like a dream. Okay, and then I have this little pink here, and it's all weeding out so easily and so nicely. So this is a fun little idea to personalize because obviously you can just make any type of personalization that you would like for these little night lights. There we go. And then at this point, I can trim pieces apart that are going to go on separate night lights. And I can also probably start placing them in their individual piles so that they are organized. So ballerina things over here. Oops, I missed a little middle piece here. There we go. And then we have, so one thing I didn't do, this little unicorn piece, you will see later, it was supposed to be 2 different colors, but I really just wanted it to be a solid gold. But what I needed to do in this was actually just attach these 2 pieces together so that they cut out together. I didn't do that, which is fine. I can still apply it just fine, but an easier way to do that would have been to attach those in Design Space. Okay, so I am just putting all of my pieces where they go to make quick work out of the next step. And believe it or not, I actually did use the premium vinyl cut setting for this piece, and it was perfect. It has more of a glittery shimmer to it, but the premium vinyl setting worked great for it. Okay, so we are all set to start applying. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the ballerina first. She has lots of pieces. So what I'm going to do is use parchment paper to help me line up my pieces on here. And I also have some clear grid line transfer tape. So the parchment paper plus the clear transfer tape are going to be your saving grace when you are layering vinyl such as this project. I also have a whole tutorial on how to layer vinyl, so you can check that out too. I'll put that in the right hand of the video in case you'd like to see. So I'm using my scraper just to really scrape down here. And I like to do the front and back. I say it in every tutorial, but I get constantly asked the same question over and over about how I get my vinyl to come off of the little cutting sheet so easily, and it is simply scraping the front and back. That is the biggest factor. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my vinyl onto the parchment paper, all of it except for just a little lip on the side. You see how a little bit of that transfer tape is falling off? Then I will go ahead and line it up on my base here. So this little shadow is the base layer that everything's going to build upon. So when you have that parchment paper in between, it allows you to move everything around without putting it down until it's absolutely perfect. So I can line it up just how I'd like it, and then I can stick down. Actually, I don't like that quite yet, so I can pull it up. Again, that parchment paper allows me to do that. Okay, once I like it, I can just lay it down just like that, pull out the parchment paper from in between, and lay it all down on one another. So now my two pieces have met up. I can scrape them down really nicely, and then peel up that transfer tape, leaving my little vinyl on the other piece. So now I'm going to do her little hair piece, and her hair comes in a couple sections, so I'm just doing the bangs, if you will. So I'll do that little front piece, scrape that down, front and back again, and then I can use my parchment paper to help me line that up. And when I like how that looks, I can remove the parchment paper and lay it right down onto the vinyl. And there we go. Little glittery hair is so cute. I like that there's a little shimmer element in that. So it's a little hard to see on camera, but it's just got a very, very subtle shimmer to that vinyl. Okay, and then this piece will go on later. It's going to go behind. So next I think I will go ahead and do her little dress. So very, very easy. Again, using that same transfer tape over and over. You can get a lot of presses out of your transfer tape, or transfers out of your transfer tape, however you want to say it, but you can reuse that as long as it's sticky. So feel free to toss it once it has served its purpose, but also don't be afraid to reuse it as well. Okay, there we go. Her little dress, so sweet. And then of course you can also change out any color vinyl that you would like. So that's one thing I really like about doing projects like this, is you can really personalize it to the colors you like or the colors that your child likes, so it makes it really easy. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do this other pink piece. I'm going to see if I can do all of this with one piece of transfer tape. Well, at least one nightlight. Okay, there we go. Looks really good. And in fact, everything was lining up really well but the little middle shirt piece. So I'm just going to take that little shirt piece off and stick it on my Joy, and I will apply that separately. I must have gotten misaligned at some point on something, but that's okay. Just kind of craft on the fly here. I'd rather it look perfect in the end than try to force it. Okay, so now she's got her little shoes and headband and wand. She looks so cute. And then this one I will just apply just like a sticker and line that up just like I wanted. It was just getting a little off for me. Okay, there we go. Sweet as pie. All right, now we can do these little pieces. So these are just the wand star and a little hair flourish for her, a little embellishment for her hair. And honestly, I think I am just going to apply this like a sticker. So I'm going to grab my tweezers. You can, of course, use transfer tape, but there are times when sometimes it's just easier to pull it up with some tweezers and apply it that way. So I'll just grab that off of my cutting sheet just like that and place it right on her little headband. Easy peasy. And I'll do the same for the star. I do this quite often, actually. Just as sometimes easier. Okay, there we go. And then our last piece is the hair. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to cover my entire piece here, scrape it all the way down, just like that. Turn it over and scrape it all the way down. And at this point, I'm going to pick up the entire design with all of the layers all at once. Okay, so you'll see my shadow layer at the back and little glimpses of all of my layers there. And then I will go ahead and place this right on the back. And I'm placing my parchment paper underneath so that it doesn't stick to my floral mat, because I can line this up just visually just fine. Okay, so now all we need to do is just pick up that little piece of hair that goes behind, and we are all set to apply it to our nightlight. Okay, so now what we'll do is grab one of our nightlights. Again, I did wash this with some rubbing alcohol. We'll center it where we'd like it, and I love that. And then we can just scrape it down with our scraper. Okay, now these do not need to be just for children's rooms. You can make them for all the rooms in your house. I love having a nightlight in a powder room. I think that's so pretty. So you could put a fun little saying on it or just a fun little graphic, anything like that. And now I am going to actually retire this piece. So we got how many layers on here? I think about 5 layers with this transfer tape. So we will happily retire this and get a fresh piece for the unicorn. Okay, so our unicorn will go down in much the same way. So I will grab some transfer tape for the unicorn, just like so. And then because my biggest base piece is the hair, I'm going to use that to lay everything down. Okay, and what I'm going to do actually for this one is I'm going to place everything on my base as I go, because I think it might be a little bit easier for this design. You can do it any way you'd like. You can do everything like I did with this one, where you apply everything off of the base and then transfer it over once all the layers are on, or you can do all of your layering on the actual nightlight. So I'm just going to show you 2 different ways that you can do it. Okay, so I have my hair piece just like this, and I'm going to trim this down just a little bit so that I can place it on my nightlight easily. And it was actually really nice to have my little tray out here as something to place that on. Okay, just like that. Scrape it down and peel that up. That's laying really, really nicely on that little nightlight as well. So now I will do the face, again scraping the front and back. Okay, you can use the parchment paper or you can just line it up visually. On this one, you just need to line up that little ear essentially, so I think it's quite easy just to do without. So I have that all ready to go. Scrape that down. There we are. Okay, so far so good. And now we have our little unicorn horn. I had to think of what it would be called. Okay, so on this one, we are going to place this piece down first. So I will grab this first piece. Okay, so I have that there. Again, very easy to line up without a little barrier. So I will just go do that. And there we go. And then I'll just apply my last piece. So again, you would want to attach these in design space so that they would lay down all together, but I forgot to do that and that's just fine. Okay, so there is the last one. So cute. Now, one thing you want to be aware of when you are layering everything on your base is that you want to make sure you allocate enough room for your entire design. So luckily I had enough room for my little horn here, but you'd want to make sure, because when we did it like this, we had our entire design all ready to go so that we could center it. But when you go in this way, you just want to make sure that you know how much room you have so that you don't have your vinyl running off the side of it. So I think these turned out really cute. Okay, so there you go, 2 cute little night lights. Very easy craft to do with your scraps and with your Cricut Joy. Again, you can do this with any type of cutting machine, but super fun, super easy, and they will definitely be a crowd pleaser to the younger ones. Plus, they'll just add a fun little element to any room that you want to design them for. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next video.